You know what? I'm actually going to do another, due to your very wise question there in the chat, I'm going to do another little recording here for YouTube. And it's regarding, again, Tekken 8. There was a poll on, this is pretty interesting, so bear with me. But there was a poll made on Twitter. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Blasted Salami. It was Arya who told me about this. There was a poll saying, what do you want for Tekken 8? Innovation or refinement? So in the future of Tekken, do you want them to do something new, to gamble, take a risk, and try and be creative, innovative, is that the goddamn word, with the series? Or do you want them to just take Tekken 7 and refine it, fine tweak it, you know, as they've been doing with every season so far? And I think only 30% actually voted to see innovation. So a substantial majority, 70%, wanted to see refinement. And Tekken 7 has sold 5 million copies. It's a huge hit. You know, huge. If you look at the history of the last 10 years, you won't find a Tekken game selling that much. 11 years ago, Tekken 6 was released, and it sold 3.5 million. So that tells you this is a huge hit. And do you know what Tekken 7 did? Not too much. Sure, it's got rage drives, it's got rage arts, it's in Unreal Engine, it's crispy and nice, it simplified the system, but what you are playing in the end is a refinement of the Tekken 5 game, which was released in 2004 in arcades and the start of 2005 on consoles, on PlayStation 2. To be honest, you're playing a legacy game. You're playing, you know, Tekken 5.5. I've said this many times. It sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. When they made Tekken 5, the developers felt, oh, we hit it. We hit the nail on the goddamn head. This is what Tekken should be. And then with every game, they add some new gimmick. Oh, you know what? This is rage. This is floor break. This is rage drive. But in the end, new characters. But you are playing the same game. And actually, most of the animations you see in this game were made in like, you know, 2005, they made a major update, and then 2006, they updated a lot of the animations, and you can still in the game see a lot of Tekken 1 animations actually. Especially some of the ultimate tackle stuff, and some of the throw breaks and shit. Frankensteiner. Have you seen Armor King's tombstone? Look at King's tombstone, and then look at Armor King's, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Looks like shit. So, you're playing a game with a lot of legacy stuff, and you'd think like, okay, people might want something new now, but it turns out people don't really want to see innovation. Because on Twitter, a large majority say, no, keep refining, and then you have 5 million sales on Tekken 7. So obviously, what we're doing is working. And Tag 2, where they took some chances with the tag system, and the board of directors were like, oh, 1.5 million sales. You know, you're not making another Tekken game. You fucked up. Whatever you were trying to do with this game, you failed to convince your core audience. So, well, we won't make a Tekken 7. And then Harada convinces them to make another game. They make Tekken 7, where they add flashiness to it, they simplify the game, but it's basically Tekken 5, you know, an iteration of Tekken 5. It sells like crazy. Board of directors very happy. Board of directors are probably not going to say, oh, you know what, that worked out really well. Now do something batshit crazy, do something completely different. Probably not. They are going to say, oh, okay, this has now sold 3 times more than Tag 2, the game prior. You did it right now. Don't try and fix this now. You know, it's working. Don't break this. Make this again. make a new game for PlayStation 5 with even cooler graphics and visuals, add some new gimmick, not rage drive, add butt drive. Oh, that's a new mechanic. So the exact same gameplay, but you have butt drive, and you have a roof break. You throw them into the roof and it breaks the roof and it stuns them. And Kazuya's forward 4 is not +4 anymore, it's +5. It's like a new game. And it's Claudio's brother, Baudo. He's not even an exorcist, he's a priest. His robe is not white, it's black. It's a new Tekken game. That's what they are going to do. And that is really what I find very disconcerting. Because I want a new game. Honestly, as much as I love Tekken 7, it's like what Tekken 7 did, they shouldn't try and recreate it. This was the perfect iteration of Tekken 5. Well, Tekken 5 DR was, to be honest. That game has more depth and more uniqueness to it. But Tekken 7 did its own thing and it did it really well. But in my opinion, this should be the end of a legacy Tekken, you know, and Tekken 5. To be honest, you know, as fresh, the Tekken 7 graphics are a bit dated now, but it felt fresh when it was released. It looked good, it was a new Tekken game, some new characters. But I think if you look under the hood, you can see that it's actually very old. The animations are very old. The gameplay is from 2004. The modes in the game, oh, it's practice mode. Oh, it's arcade. The online, delay-based netcode, no rollback. Even though we have games from 2015 who had rollback. There's no tutorial mode. You haven't made substantial changes to the gameplay. It's like, honestly, if you look under the hood, you're playing a very, very, very legacy game. And of course, they had a very limited budget, so I understand why. But you know what I hope for? I hope they get a big budget for Tekken 8, considering Tekken 7 did so well. And that the board of directors, you know, the higher-ups in the company, just say, do your thing, we trust you guys. And Harada, feeling very creative, feels that I want to create something new now. We're gonna abandon the Tekken 5 system, we're gonna change up the movement, everyone's gonna have new animations, we want rollback netcode, big tutorial system that is entertaining, we scale down the roster, remove these oversimplified dumb attacks, and as Arya pointed out so flawlessly in his Tekken 8 wishlist, just imagine how much personality and character you can add to the characters in their movement. Imagine Kazuya and only him having a specific way of backdashing. So his Korean backdash, there's a very fluid animation where he can hold, you know, a guard like this or whatever, and it's unique to him. Or his wave dash has a unique animation where he maybe holds his hand like this or whatever, or a sidestep looks a specific way if you do it with a certain character. It's just, instead of these jerky old animations, like what is the wave dash? It's been there since Tekken 3. Or the backdash, it looks like someone had moonwalking into a goddamn seizure. It's like, there's so much opportunity here to do great things with the characters, but we're just dropping the ball on so much of it. So yeah, I really hope we go in a different direction with Tekken in the next game. I really do, because it's getting a bit stale. You know, Tekken 7 should be the final nail in the coffin for a 15-year-old system. 15 years. Right. But again, you know, a lot of people disagree with me. I know a lot of people want to see Tekken 8 should be Tekken 7, but on PS5. better visuals, but same game. And I can understand why you say that. You know, to a lot of people, Tekken 7 is perfect, but as a die-hard Tekken fan, in the end, I'm just... I crave a new experience, is what I'm trying to say. I need something new and fresh. And I don't need 50 characters. I need 25 characters that are all well-balanced, well-presented. They all have a lot of customization options, and they're all featured in the story. They all have new dialogue. Oh, and speaking of legacy, how long now has Kazuya come into a fight like this? Xamaka, Omaika. Do you know how long they've been reusing the same intro and win poses? 20 years. 20 years of copy-pasting the same animations. You have... Just imagine how fresh Tekken 8 would feel if a fight starts and Kazuya is sitting in a meditation pose and he suddenly jumps up and says Mashuda Karabara and starts punching or whatever. It's like, wow, look at that. My main character is doing something new. He seems more human now. Whatever. Just do... I mean, do you understand where I'm getting at? Instead of seeing the same goddamn robotic win poses we all know by heart, like, for fuck's sake, give some additional personality and content. And that's why I'm saying, only use half the characters. Scale down the roster to 25, and then that means you don't have to put your budget into 50 characters. You can use your big budget to make all of those 25 characters shine that much more. You know, customization, story, new intro win poses, reanimate them. Give them distinct animation when they move. Do everything you can to make 25 characters stand out instead of half-assing 50 characters. Yes, I guess that's rant number 2. So I hope I made my point clearly.